Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone again for joining us. My name is Sean Dooling. I work for Chainbridge Technologies. I'm a project manager supporting the RadResponder, ChemResponder, and broader CRUN responder network. I'll be presenting today's webinar. This is the pre-drill webinar for our RadResponder Nationwide Drill on recording indoor radiological readings. The drill itself will be next week, August 11th. The purpose for this session is to make sure that you feel prepared for success when we actually execute the drill next week. A couple housekeeping things before we get underway with the content. As we go forward, you might have questions. If you do, I encourage you to use the questions box that's available in your GoToWebinar application. My colleague, Christine Alston, is on the line as well. And she can address your questions in real time as we go forward. We'll also hang out on the line a little bit when we're done so that we can have some dialogue if you'd like to talk further about some of your specific inquiries. So like I said, the purpose for today's session is to make sure that you feel prepared to successfully engage the drill next week. So most of our time is going to be spent walking down some of the skills that you'll need to be able to use in RadResponder for the drill. And so that includes the list that you see here. We'll talk about creating an event, creating a facility, adding floor plans to that facility, using the mobile application for data collection on the floor plan, and finally viewing floor plan data. I want to state up front that we have some resources available for you in our resource library. You'll find some job aids and user guides for reference there. I think of particular interest for this drill's purposes is the creating and managing events job aid. We have an indoor monitoring job aid and also a facilities and sampling locations and RadResponder job aid. So again, those things are available for you for reference in our resource library. We'll start to walk through, again, some of these skills that you'll need to utilize. The content here that I'm presenting on the slide deck, we will send this out afterwards, so the deck will be available for your reference if you want to look back at it later on. The first skill we'll talk about is creating an event in RadResponder. And to be able to create an event, you need the event creator role. So as I go forward here, you're not seeing some of the buttons and functionality on your own browser in RadResponder. It's probably because you don't have the right roles that give you the permissions to be able to create events. So there are two ways to create an event in RadResponder. And again, you're going to need to be able to do this when we have the drill next week. So the first way is right on the dashboard on the home page, there is a create button on your events tile. There's a second option here in a drop down at the top in the ribbon bar there. You click that little arrow next to the events icon and you have a create an event button there as well. You're then brought to the event creation form. It's a simple web form where you'll fill out some of these fields. Some of these fields are going to, you'll be given guidance on how to populate them. So for instance, we'll provide you a naming convention that we'll ask you to use for the drill next week. We'll specify a type that you should use for the event as well. But the rest of the fields here are fairly simple. The ones that are marked with the red asterisks are required to be able to save the form, and the rest are optional. Once you've filled out the fields here, you'll click Save Changes and you're ready to go. So again, the event creation form is just a one-page web form. It's pretty straightforward and will only take a few minutes. We'll next talk about creating a facility within an event. And to create a facility, you do need the event manager role. So again, if you don't see some of these buttons that I'm showing on the PowerPoint here, again, it's probably because you don't have that event manager role within the event you're working in. When you're in your event, on the side navigation towards the bottom, you'll see a facilities page. And so you can click into that facilities, and this will bring you to the facilities page. So even if you already have facilities on your event, perhaps you're carrying some of them over from your organization that are added by default to your event, but you're going to be creating a new facility for purposes of this drill. So you are going to go into the Add Facility page in the top right, click that green Add Facility button. And the Add Facility web form will be here for you. At the top, it's going to give you two options to create new or select from existing. You will choose the Create New option, and then you'll fill out the general information with your event facility information. This can either be fictional or it could be a real facility. You could use real world data if you have it to create your facility here. There is going to be a section here for the event specific details where it's going to ask you for a status for the facility. Do make sure that it's set to live. And then once you've done that, fill out the rest of the form, rest of the fields for your facility. You're ready to save it. So once you have your facility in the event, you're going to want to add floor plans to the facility. So once again, you do need the event manager role to be able to add a floor plan. So again, if you don't see these buttons that I'm showing, again, it's because you don't have the right role. So you need event manager for this. So to add our floor plan, you're first going to navigate into the details for the facility that you just created. So in this instance, we're clicking our little magnifying glass next to our CLA office building facility. It brings us to the facility details page. And on that facility details page, I'm going to scroll down to the floor plan section and click Create Floor Plan. So in that floor plan's header, on the right side of that header, that says Create Floor Plan. When we're ready to add our floor plan, you'll first provide a name. So choose a name for your floor plan that you can easily identify, and then make sure that it's marked active. And then you'll upload the floor plan file itself. So this just needs to be an image file, could be a PNG or some other image file type. Any of those will suffice. So I select the file, and then I'm ready to save changes. If you do not have an image of your floor plan or you cannot sketch one out to upload, you can use one of the floor plans in our resource library, or you can just choose one from the internet. But we do have a sample floor plans folder in our resource library that will be at your disposal. So if you want to draw from that for purposes of the drill, it's there for you. We will include guidance about accessing that sample floor plans folder in the drill instructions next week on August 11th for the drill execution. You need at least one floor plan for the drill, but if you would like to upload others, certainly feel free. The next section here we'll talk about is collecting indoor data from the mobile application on your floor plan. And so for these functionalities, you're going to need the data collector role, again, within the event that you're working. So again, if you don't have that data collector role, you actually won't even see this event on your mobile application. So just make sure that you got that permission, that role. When you open your event on the mobile app, you'll be brought to this event configuration page. And from here, you'll need to download your floor plan. So at the bottom of the page there, you'll have an option to download these floor plans. So you just click that little download button on the right side. And then when I'm actually in the event and I'm creating data points, so in this example, we're creating a field survey, but this would apply as well to other data types like observations or samples. I can mark the data point as is indoor. So on the indoor location section there, I'm just going to toggle that to is indoor. Once the is indoor field is toggled on, you're going to get a list of other fields that are going to appear that apply to indoor data collection. So you can see here, I get a facility field, building structure, floor section, etc. So if you've uploaded your floor plan to a facility on the event, we can go ahead and select that. So I'm going to start by selecting the facility that I'm collecting data in. So I'll first choose my facility, and then I'm going to go into facility floor plan and choose the floor plan that I want. I can then go into click floor plan position to select a point on the floor plan image to indicate where this reading was recorded. So I'll go into this field here, floor plan position. If you didn't download your floor plan yet, so meaning that you haven't actually used that floor plan on this device, up to this point, you'll be directed at this stage to download that floor plan. So if you select a floor plan that, again, hasn't yet been downloaded, you'll get a little modal there that prompts you to do so. So I'll click yes here, download that floor plan. Once I've downloaded my floor plan, I'm ready to plot my data point on it. So I can just tap anywhere on the plan. It's just the very basic point and click interface here. So the location of your point is going to be indicated by this little purple dot. So you can click where you want to place your dot. You can move the dot if you made a mistake. You can pinch and pull on the image, of course, to zoom in and out. So I've got my data point placed here. I'm going to click Save in the upper right corner. You'll then see some coordinates that are populating here on the floor plan position field. These are the coordinates for the image you're seeing. They don't refer to an actual lat long, but it's just the pixelation coordinates for that image file. So this at least confirms that I know that I've successfully placed my data record on the floor plan. You have some optional fields that follow. Feel free to interact with these and fill them out. So if you want to supply building structure, floor section, room number, etc., they're there for you. These are, again, optional fields. If you don't have a floor plan at all, you also have the option to interact with, again, these other fields here in the section that follows below facility and just populate those instead. So now I want to view floor plan data within my event. And so to do this, you just need the basic data viewer role within your event. So now I'm back on the website. So I can't do this from the mobile application, but again, I'm here on my browser at RadResponder. And I want to view data on this floor plan. So I'm navigating to my event. And I've got my facility icon. You can see on the lower right part of this map screenshot here. And I want to view the data points that we collected within this facility's floor plans. So you see the little black circle that's hanging off the facility icon. That's indicating the number of data points that we've collected on some floor plan or some number of floor plans within this facility. So in this case, I see I've got 2 data records that are on one or more floor plans for this facility. So I'm going to click that facility icon on the left side navigation. It's going to open up a quick details view for you. And I'm going to click View Floor Plans on that quick details section. The floor plans for the facility are going to open under the Facilities Map Options layer. And so here I can see the different floor plans that I've got for this facility. and I can choose to view data on image for any of these floor plans. So I'll just click that button there. And my map is now going to become just that floor plan, this indoor floor plan that we had plotted our data on. So you can click on any of these data points to view their details, just like you would on the main event map view. So all the viewing, all the thresholds, all the details for each record, they work the same exact way as on your regular map view that you're accustomed to. You can zoom in and out on your floor plan. You've got some buttons in the upper right corner as well that will let you do that. When you are done viewing data for this particular floor plan, you've got the close floor plan option in the upper right corner. So I can just click that, and it's going to return. Okay, so again, I hope that walk down of these skills was helpful. The actual drill itself is, again, going to be next week, August 11th. This is a quick preview of the day of drill schedule. All the times below, importantly, are in Eastern time. So at 12:45, that's when we are going to start disseminating the instructions to all the participants. So you'll receive a set of instructions, a document that's going to provide guidance about how to get started, and some other instructions for the execution. At 1 p.m. is when we'll officially start the drill. So you will have from 1 to about 2:30, and then 2:30 to 2:45, there'll be an internal hot wash, and then we'll be ready to wind down. So I think as I went forward here, there were some questions in the question box that, again, Christine was addressing. But we'll hang out on the line here. If there are questions, we're happy to assist. If you want to drop off at this point, feel free. Again, thank you for joining. It was great to see so many folks, over 100 that got on the line here. I think that shows that there's a lot of interest in these indoor features that we've got. So we really look forward to the drill next week and appreciate your time.